Commissioner David Heredia. Oh, I'm sorry. Chairperson David Heredia.
Present.
Vice Chairperson Raul Velasco. Commissioner Victor Barbosa.
Present.
Commissioner Carlos Jose Barrera.
Present.
Commissioner Jason Gavilanes.
Present.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gavilanes, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you. Could you place your right hand over your heart, please? Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, was the agenda posted according to state law?
It was posted according to law, yes.
And this is the time given for the public to speak on agenda and non-agenda items or any comments received.
No comments received.
I need a motion from a commissioner on approving the minutes from the meeting from July 6, 2021.
I first motion.
I need a second.
I second the motion.
Madam Secretary, can you please take roll call vote?
Chairperson Heredia.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Velasco.
Yes.
Commissioner Barbosa.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrera.
Yes.
Commissioner Gavilanes.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the first agenda item here. Ms. Chavez, will you please give the report?
Yes, good evening, Chair and members of the Traffic and Safety Commission. This evening, we have a traffic safety analysis for the intersection of Eastern Avenue at Gotham Street, and I will ask our traffic engineer, Mr. Barnes, to provide the technical report and recommendations. Thank you, Dennis.
Right. Good evening, Commissioner. Thank you, Purcell. The item before you is titled the Eastern Avenue at Gotham Street U-turn activity and near misses. This item was brought to us by Commissioner Barosa at the July Traffic and Safety Commission meeting. I had expressed concerns about the U-turn activity at the intersection as shown on in your reports in Figure 1. I provided arrows to indicate the areas of concern where the U-turns issues were perceived to be an issue. I'd also like to interject that I personally drove my vehicle, which is a Honda Accord, in the northbound left turn pocket at Eastern and Gotham to see if there is a U-turn problem. With my Honda Accord being smaller, 16 feet and so in length, when you make that U-turn, it was tight making the U-turn to go north and then go south. And there's green curb. We don't have a diagram up on the view there, but if you so it was very tight making that U-turn. The other consideration, so my evaluation was there's a U-turn potential or tight movement that's with a small car. If you were to try to make that U-turn movement with a single unit truck or that, you would have a difficult time because there's parking on the west side of Eastern Avenue, as shown in Figure 2 of the report, and there's a green curb there. So with my Honda Accord making that U-turn, I was able to make it, but it was tight. If there were a larger truck vehicle parked there further up the street, I would have to stop, back up a little bit, and then continue. A larger vehicle would definitely have to stop in the middle of the roadway, back up a little bit, and then continue. In the report, I provided measurements to indicate how wide the street is on Eastern, both from the curb to curb and also from the left turn pocket. The reason I did that was I referenced the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, referred to as AASHTO. On page 3 of the report, I provided a table, and it's a handy table used to check designs when the designer is laying out a roadway. In there particular, it has both metric and English units, but it gives you the width that you need if you're going from the left turn pocket to make it into the nearest lane or the furthest lane, and also for different types of vehicles. As an attachment, at the page 4 of the report, I included the turning movement path for a standard passenger car, one of the older vehicles, but it's 19 feet in length. It could be even a large pickup truck, to show you the dimensions that are required to make that U-turn movement. It turns out that if you add up the dimensions, you need 39.9 feet, and we don't have that at that particular location in terms of making a U-turn movement. That's why I had a little bit of difficult time just with the Honda Accord. I also looked at the accident history for a period of 4 years. I found no accidents that were related to U-turn movements. So that was good. We received, in progress of the report, some more additional comments that there was also an issue when going southbound on Eastern, trying to make a U-turn at the opposite the left turn pocket. And when they did that, that was interfering with northbound traffic on Eastern. So with that in mind, after careful review, my conclusion was that you need to install a no U-turn sign, which is referenced as an R3-4, and it's a picture shown in your reports, to be installed in both noses of at that intersection. And the estimated cost to install those signs is estimated at $250. And as my understanding, there's available monies in the current street maintenance budget. So with that, I would now open it up for comments or questions from the commissioners relative to the report.
Now, Mr. Dennis, I have a question. Would the no U-turn sign be installed for both directions on Eastern?
Yeah, so if we were to refer back to the, on figure 1, on page 1 of the report, where those arrows are pointed, the arrow to the top there showing Eastern, you install a no U-turn sign on the existing light pole there. And the arrow, the second arrow pointing opposite the green curve there, you would install that in the island on a what we call a telspar or a metal breakaway type post. So you would install a total of 2 no U-turn signs.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can also share with the commission, upon installation, if the motion's approved this evening, we'll follow up with the police department so they can conduct the appropriate traffic enforcement. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, if we don't have any other questions, I need a motion from the commission
I first motion.
and a second.
I'll second.
Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote?
Yes, Chairperson Heredia,
I motion to approve.
Vice Chairperson Velasco, Commissioner Barbosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrera,
Yes.
Commissioner Gavilanes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and on the next agenda item, Ms. Chavez, will you please give the report?
This next analysis involves the intersection of Priority Street and Ira Avenue. Another concern brought up by Commissioner Barbosa at the last meeting, and the technical report will be provided by our traffic engineer, Mr. Barnes.
All right, thank you. As noted in the reports before you, I provided an aerial overview to identify the location, which is noted in Figure 1, Priory Street at Ira. So with that complaint involved, visibility, I proceeded to do a field investigation. By that, going out in the field, driving the street, and as noted in the two pictures that I provided on page 2, Figure 2, looking west at Priory Street at Ira, and then Figure 3, looking east, you can see parked vehicles there. In addition to that, when I'm looking at visibility complaints, I plotted this site triangle. I did not include that for different reasons, but what I did do was include the table on the in the middle of page 2, which gives you from the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices how much stopping sight distance you need for different speeds that are posted. And in particular, we have 25 miles per hour. It's a prima facie street on Ira, as well as Priory Street. So you need 155 feet. So what I do is there's a stop legend there. So you park your vehicle at the stop legend, and the assumed position of a driver's eye from the front bumper, this is kind of historical data, but is assumed to be 8 feet back. So with that in mind, you can do from an aerial view or looking from a plan view, you look at that, and then you 8 feet back, and then you go forward and you find the center line of Ira, and you come off 2 feet, and you go up the road, you identify from the table here, you would look at that and say, well, you need 155 feet, you mark that point, and then when a driver stopped on Priory Street, you mark that point, and you draw a line between the 2 points. At that point, it provides like a triangle there, and then anything within that triangle is considered to be an obstruction, so I couldn't see. So, and I realized that parking is a priority in the neighborhood, so my initial approach here is to install 20 feet of red curb in each corner as a interim move to enhance the visibility of the at that intersection, and give the motorists in the neighborhood a better opportunity. Should someone pull out, they have an opportunity to come to a complete safe stop. So that was basically the recommendation of the report. Is moving on to page 3. I recommended 20 feet in the northwest and southwest corners of that intersection. Again, to enhance visibility. If we were to look a little closer, we could go probably even take more, under 40 feet, but as an interim measure, I believe that by putting in the initial 20 feet, which I like to share, is in the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices, they recommend 20 feet for a blue curb. It's not 18, but they recommend 20 feet. So we would be taking away 1 parking space on each corner to enhance visibility. And if you look at the pictures in the report, figures 2 and 3, if you were to be where I took those pictures in my car, looking right and left, I think you would see, if I could see without that vehicle there, remember this is daytime, but if it was nighttime, I'd have a better opportunity to see oncoming traffic, and we would enhance safety there. So with that, I'll open it up for discussion or answer any questions that the commissioners may have.
Now, has there been any history of prior accidents in this particular intersection?
No, I did not find any history of accidents, which is good. A lot of times you can have what we call fender benders, but they always don't get reported because people are concerned about their insurance, so they don't always return them in, unfortunately. So they're not always tracked. We don't always have the police won't always have a record of those.
Now, I do want to share with the commission that I did bring up this issue with a resident of this on Priory Street. They as well did not mention ever noticing any accidents in this block or this intersection in particular. And also, they did share that obviously with every other neighborhood in our city, that parking is a big issue. And they were not happy to to hear that there's possibility of losing a couple of spaces based on just the lack of parking there is in the evening time. So I want to share with, with the commission that there is, based on this individual I spoke with, there is not would not be full support with reducing the parking space and adding the red curb in this particular intersection.
Do we have any other questions or comments on this item from commissioners?
Yeah, so I just want to say, I think it's good that we're taking action on this before there are any accidents, even though there haven't been any. I think it's better to be safer now than to be sorry. We shouldn't wait for an accident to happen before we take action. So I like all these, the red curbs and all that because they're gonna help prevent a lot of accidents. And even the small ones that we don't notice, such as the fender benders and all that, it could save a lot of money and lives.
Right, and I'd just like to interject too, that once the city or agency has put on notice that there's a site distance issue, you're on record. So, okay, you decide to do nothing. But next month, we have a serious accident, it's on record, no action was taken, you've got like a check mark there that you knew you had an issue, but you took no action to mitigate it. So it's like, what happens is that once an agency gets put on notice, they have to do some kind of analysis report to document either, yes, we're gonna do something, we're not gonna do anything for whatever reason that may be. So I'll just share that with you.
It looks like the main concern was driving visibility, but it looks as if there actually would be more visibility for pedestrians as well if we put some red curb, because it looks like probably a lot of maybe high school students might cross to there or other schools going right across Ira. Seems like a easy place to cross the street. So red curbs might create some more visibility for pedestrians in general. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? I need a motion from the commission.
I had a comment. Um, I guess I'm mentioning this from, I guess, something else I saw in the past. It kind of reminds me of that. And I guess I'm hoping that these red curbs will work. Because I remember they were doing something like this in the street a couple years ago. And they didn't have visibility on the left or the right. So I do agree with them doing it. I just hope that it helps. And I don't know if they can put a sign if it doesn't. Pretty much. But that's all I have to say.
Okay, I need a motion from the commission
I'll go motion.
and a second.
Second motion.
Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote, please?
Uh, Chairperson Heredia,
Motion to approve.
Vice Chair Velasco,
Yes.
Commissioner Barbosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrera,
Yes.
Commissioner Gavilanes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the next agenda item on Quinn Street and Garfield Avenue, Ms. Chavez, will you please give the report?
Yes, good evening again, Commissioners. The last report on the agenda is for a traffic safety analysis for the intersection of Quinn Street at Garfield Avenue. Another concern presented at last month's meeting, and the report will be provided again by Mr. Barnes.
Thank you, Michelle. Again, this report, similar to the last one in terms of format, there is an aerial view of the intersection at Quinn at Garfield as shown in figure 1 on page 1 of the report. I did drive it. I was parked on Quinn going eastbound, looked both directions. then was able to cross Garfield and park on the other side in Felix. I have to check the name on the other across the street, and I looked in that direction as well for sight distance restrictions. When parked going back to Quinn, eastbound direction, on page 2 of the report, I took pictures, one on figure 2, and the other picture was actually, I think, Grisel had provided that picture as well. Those pictures show that there is, again, some slight sight restriction. Again, my bumper is parked at the stop legend. And also, I should share with you that the vehicle code, when you're parked at when you come to an intersection with a stop sign, the vehicle code allows you to proceed to move your bumper, if you can imagine, up in line with the curb. That's legal. So you're not going to get a ticket for that. So you're able to enhance your visibility. But even doing that, I took my picture, and there's that car on figure 2 is showing there. And it does restrict your vision somewhat. So I repeated the table again from, as I shared with you in the last report. The speed that's posted on Garfield, of course, is 35 miles an hour, so you need a sight triangle of 250 feet. If I were to plot the triangle and I provided the diagram, I would take out probably about 3 spaces if I was parked on Quinn looking to my left or north. I would probably could take almost 2 more spaces. I looked to the right to make a right turn. There was no obstructions or nothing compromised my vision to make the right turn. On Felix, across the street, I did the same maneuver. I was parked at the stop legend. I looked to the left. You can see there's cars there. If the one car or so, or some of those cars were to be removed, it would enhance your opportunity or vision to make make a left turn onto southbound Garfield. We're looking at, and the traffic engineer is looking at higher speed roadways. We look at what we call available gaps or openings in the traffic. So you want as much time as you have. So our left turn is normally 7.5 or 8 seconds of free opening, so you can make that safe left turn. In this case here, I looked at that. I looked at the triangle, plotted it, and again, realizing we're tight for parking and so forth, my recommendation that I came up with was to really start out with removing 1 space in each one of those corners to enhance the sight distance. Again, I went with made a recommendation of 20 feet in each corner to enhance that's in the northwest and the southeast corners. My report, I'd like to mention, I mentioned in page 3, I referenced northeast, southwest. It should be northwest and southeast corners of the intersection. So when you're parked on Quinn, going eastbound, looking to the left, I recommended 20 feet additional red curb. When I'm on Felix, I'm going to go left or looking to the left, as shown in figure 3, I recommended an additional 20 feet, which that silver car that you see would be a red space there. So trying to give a little more visual visibility so that the driver would have a little more time to make that judgment call, to make the left turn. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions the commissioners may have.
I think I have seen problems with this streets because I know when I'm driving down Garfield, there's times where cars, in order to be able to see, they'll stick out a little too much. So cars that are coming at 30, 40 miles an hour, it could be a big accident if a car is not seen. So I think these are good placements for the red curbs. I think it will help for their big accidents that could really hurt someone.
All right.
Okay, do we have any other questions or comments on this item from commissioners?
No comments.
No comments.
I need a motion from the commission
First
No
motion.
motion.
and a second.
No, second.
Okay, Madam Secretary, can you take roll call vote?
Yes, Chairperson Heredia,
Yes.
Vice Chair Velasco,
Yes.
Commissioner Barbosa,
Yes.
Commissioner Barrera,
Yes.
Commissioner Gavilanes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And do we have any comments from staff?
Yes, Chair Heredia, we do have updates from the last city council meeting. The blue curb that was approved by the commission at the July meeting on Ajax Street was approved by city council, so that will be installed by staff in the coming weeks once the sign arrives. And we also had the request for speed humps on Gallant Street. That was 2 speed humps, I think, between Gilliland and Amish Street that were also approved by city council. So those will be installed in the coming weeks as well. Last week, staff did complete the installation of the 4 speed humps on Watcher Street. And I was out there taking a little video when we put it out on social media. You can actually see it. If you are ever able to go see the process, it's amazing to see those humps be formed with just in-house resources and the science behind their precision and measurement to get them to meet the spec, provided. So it's pretty cool to watch in person. And then also just to let the commission know, in case you weren't aware, it is our National Night Out event at the Ford Park site. So if you have time after this meeting, you can check it out. All the police vehicles and displays are out there, and concert and a lot of community members. So it is going on tonight until 9 p.m. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. And any comments from commissioners?
Yes, I have a comment from commissioners. For some of you I've seen one time, nice to see you again. And some that I haven't, for the first time, nice to see you in person. And hoping we have more meetings like this. It's nice to see you, and I hope you guys have a good night and a good week and a good month. Nice to see you.
Thank you, you as well. And yeah, all future meetings will be in person, but we'll provide the option for virtual recording, calling in through September for the orders, health orders. Thank you.
I also like to say, great to meet you all in person again. Hopefully I'll get to meet Victor soon as well. But I really enjoy this. I really enjoy being here in person and being able to communicate our thoughts and ideas about our city, how to make it better. And we may not agree all the time, but it's great that we can actually speak our voice and have it be heard. So I want to thank you all for coming here tonight and doing our job to help make the city better.
I just wanted to thank everyone for being here as well. It's great seeing everybody in person. And for National Night Out, it's at the Bell Gardens Park, right?
No, at Ford Park?
It's at Ford Park.
Yeah,
Okay.
until 9 p.m. today.
Ford Park. Okay, if there's no further comments, then we're going to go ahead and have the adjournment to the next scheduled meeting of September 7th. We'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting.
And sorry, Chair Heredia, can I ask, so just a reminder that Tuesday fall is right before the Labor Day, September 6th, Monday. So in case anyone was going to be out of town, that maybe we couldn't meet a quorum, I wanted to ask if you wanted to proceed to have it that Tuesday, or maybe move it back, or just not have it and go dark and move it to have the items in October. So just throwing it out there, my past commissions, usually everyone was out of town and they could never make it. So just wanted to ask what your availability would be like, so we can take some action, keep it as is or move it. or cancel?
Okay, for myself, it looks okay right now, but we can definitely all check in maybe a week or two beforehand, whatever would be reasonable, and then we can go ahead and decide.
Yeah, if for some reason we wouldn't have a quorum, we can just cancel and postpone until the October meeting. Everyone else seems like they would be available as of right now.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you.
That's a yes for me.
Thank you. And I also I look forward to meeting you all without the mask, so I can know what you look like when I see you out there in the street or the community events. I can recognize you, but we'll see how many more weeks of the mask wearing we have. But again, really nice to meet you all in person and have that communication and, build a relationship that way. I don't like the Zoom and virtual stuff too much. It's always better in person. Thank you for your time
Thank you.
this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This meeting is now closed at 6:04 p.m.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.